Hi, this is Jason from McGuire's Clocks. Today we're going to take a look at this beautiful Gazo Angelino. It is a solid alder case finished in a natural finish. It's very nicely carved. Now this particular one is the only one I have received in here and purchased that I have not had to do something to case-wise or to the brass. This one was stuck back in a dark hallway where it never saw any light, and it was clearly left alone because there were no fingerprints on the brass, which is very unusual because, as I've said in some of the videos about this before, Gazo did not lacquer their brass. They gave you a little jar of this wax stuff that you would apply to it to keep it in a good condition, which of course no one ever took the time to do. But as you can see, there's some natural darkening to this, but it's all over and it's uniform. No fingerprints on it. Same with the weights. These are easily the best weights and pendulum condition-wise that I've run into. And you can see there is a difference in the color, as the alder wood will change color over time. It doesn't matter what you do to it, but this is the least drastic I've ever seen in one of these, where it started probably around this color here, and it's now this color. That's just really unusual, and I think that is because it was kept back in a dark hall. As with all the Gazo stuff, beautifully carved, beautiful beveled glass all the way around. So we'll start down here at the bottom. Multi-tiered base, and then you have this beautiful placard that's hand carved. Get a close-up of it. You will see, I don't know if it's not real easy to see, there's some hairline fractures in this wood. It could have been out of the factory like that, but it's probably just due to time. That will happen when you use solid wood. It tends to warp a little bit. Like with many of the floor clocks Gazo made, it has the bottom that opens to it, a little bit of storage, or if your weights happen to fall down in there for some reason, you can get them out. Piano hinges, again, trade of Gazo. They didn't do it on everything, but they did it on a whole lot of their clocks. This is the original equipment that came with it, your Kieninger crank, and this is the wax I was talking about that they gave you for the brass, and some gloves. Original paperwork inside of there also. I don't get that with all of them. Back to the details. So you got the placard, and then you also have these columns here, very nicely designed. And even in these in-between spaces, other companies like Howard Miller these days would miss. They've got this nice piece here. The ends are carved, and I'm sure this is just a piece of straight quarter round. But that's carved. You have a nice thick lip here going around all the way, matching all the way around. Going up to the door, really nice carved right here, and took all the little indentions. They had to do that by hand also. The surround around the glass, deep. It's a thick piece of wood. It's not just a thin piece of trim. Very nicely done also. Curving this wood is probably not an easy task. I don't do woodwork, but I'm guessing curving all that way around is not easy. One thing I really love about these clocks is that they managed to match the bevel almost perfectly with the surround on it. Again, I have had plenty of glass cut. This is not an easy thing or a cheap thing to have done. I don't know that my glass guy could do that as good as they are. More detail up here, beautifully carved. And then you have the matching detail here to the one below on the door. This one even has its original hang tag with it. That was on the clock when it was sold new. Go up here to the top. More carving, as you can see on the sides. You got 4 matching reliefs here in the corners. Again, this really nice, thick, curved piece of wood around the glass and a convex piece of glass in the front. And then the thing that makes this one really, really special is all the carving up here in the top. It's just stunning how well they did on this and how evenly matched it is from side to side. And I do like that this piece up here is asymmetrical. It's not identical from this half to this half. It gives it a little bit more style. More carving over here. You can see this. I had to carve out each one of those little pieces right there. And then over on this side, again, it's asymmetrical. This side's a little bit different looking than that side. You know, one thing that I really like about this clock is that they've kept the attention to detail on the side, where many companies lose that detail. Instead of just making this a plain square door that opens, they have the detail at the top of it. Same down here, the top of the side window, you've got this detail here. All right, speaking of the doors, this one, of course, is hinged. Beveled glass in there also. I don't know if you can see that from this side, but it's beveled. This one's got a straight bevel across it. Still very nice. Front door, piano hinges, up and down. Beautiful Lear pendulum, very unique, only in the Gazo clocks. Weights have the matching motif on it. Go up to the top, again, piano hinges, and then the dial has all the matching motif with the cartouche style numbers on it. And then the numbers are porcelain, and so is the center, the second chapter ring. Gazo placard, Gazo carved name in there. He signed all of his work. I don't know when this one was specifically made, because a lot of times they put a date under here. This one is not dated. However, I will say something about the movement now. This is a Kieninger movement. It's cable drive, triple chime. It does not have built-in stops. And if you don't know what that is when you're winding the clock will automatically stop you from winding it too far. It'll also keep the clock from running down too far and the cable running out on it. So I'm guessing because of that, this is an earlier model, probably late 70s, as this is maybe the second Kieninger with this K-series movement in it that I've seen without stops built into it. They're not missing, they just were never there to begin with. So it must be an earlier production model of it. All right, now we'll get to the chimes. I have it set to Westminster. It's the easiest one to hear, and for time's sake, it's the one I typically use, just so you can hear what the chimes sound like without taking up too much time. Again, this is Jason with McGuire's Clocks. You can find us at mcguiresclocks.com. You can find us on Facebook by looking up McGuire's Clocks, and on Instagram at McGuire's Clocks. Thank you. Have a great day.